howdy. On just a teeny little thing that happened over the weekend that I don't know how much you guys are aware of. A teeny thing where an officer shot a captain
They don't
and 2
know.
lieutenants.
I know they don't know.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Say that again?
What?
Wait,
Yeah,
a
just
captain?
tiny little thing.
Wait,
You're just shooting people again, huh?
is this the Oxby thing?
Yeah, this is why Oxby's in ICU. Ruby and Key so there. But there's an investigation going on into a couple.
Wait,
of
I'm sorry. Say that one more time. You're saying a cop,
yes.
like intentionally?
Yes.
Let her get through. Let her tell us.
I know. I just wanted to see if I heard it right.
It's insane.
Save the
It's
yeah.
absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And I mean the person that it was as well. You, like no sort of inkling of like sort of anger or even that sort of crazy look in their eye sort of thing. Nothing like that ever. But yeah, no, it happened. So shift 2, there's some issues with some like communication problems, issues I guess that I found out over this past weekend between like Command and PNT, and they've been ironing those out. Apparently they're pretty deep rooted. There's been some talking behind people's backs, telling cadets lies, things like that. But I think the stirring has gone on to the point where people, even the people doing the stirring, sort of genuinely believe it themselves. And I think what's happened is there's been one too many issues with are you aware of Bubba J?
You mean the guy who goes in like bait
Shift 2?
shootouts down in gang
The guys
blocks?
who went to the house
guy.
block
That
and was
guy-
like,
yeah, that
"This
guy.
is my block."
Right.
Who
that
is
guy.
this?
The one who couldn't join like a gang, so he's like, you know what, PD's good enough.
No, that's D.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that is true.
So he that whole incident with the hounds like took me by surprise because I've never known him to act like that before, and he admitted what he did and he came clean about it. He had an issue with how things were handled. He blamed Command as being only interested in the hound side of things, not even bothered about his health, welfare, or well-being, or whatever the hell. I get people feel like that. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. It's Bean. Give me 1 sec. Hi, Bean. Can I, is it urgent? Okay, can I call you back? I'm just with the marshals at the moment. Alright, speak to you. Bye. So yeah.
So
what
Bubba
was
shot them all, is what you're saying?
Yeah, so they were having a conversation with him, trying to figure out, well, trying to give him a chance to respond to basically all the issues that he had. They were firing him.
Oh.
He walked into the meeting expecting that, which was a little bit odd, but he walked in expecting that. And then I think he started trying to talk to him from the statements I've got. He started trying to talk
14
to him.
months,
Bubba
John
started
is
screaming
14.
and shouting and saying, it doesn't matter what happens, you're just going to paint this as Bubba started shouting anyway, or whatever the hell he said. He couldn't get a word in edgeways. Oxby tried to tell him to stop talking and listen, because they were trying to give him a way out, basically, where he was going to lose his position, but it wouldn't have been a release on bad terms, and he could probably get a job, maybe at a different department, wherever.
Oh, I need to change my gloves.
They got to the point where Bubba suggested giving his equipment over. I think he said, give your equipment over. Someone said something. And Bubba apparently pulled out his class 2, which I think he said he thought he was going to hand it over, but then it became apparent. He just started shooting.
He's gonna apparently he was gonna give it to him in another way. What the fuck?
He shot Oxby down, then Key down, then Ruby down with a class 2. He didn't just shoot them though. When he got searched afterwards, he had apparently 6 or 7 magazines, and all but one of them were empty.
Jesus Christ!
Oh my god!
There was.
This is yesterday.
This was Saturday.
2 days.
I went to sleep early. Fuck.
Right after you fucked up.
What?
Sounds like this was your fault, Brian.
No, it just means like, look, what can I say? I'm like a damn cornerstone in the PD. They're probably like, oh, good, we can do corruption now. He's asleep. He won't target me for being corrupt.
It's like when Batman stopped showing up in Gotham City.
Yeah.
He also then hid behind the door and waited for Remy to walk in.
Yeah.
Why?
And Remy shot his ass down.
Yeah,
With a
Remy
heavy
was like
pistol.
doing paperwork or something, and The chief's office is fairly soundproof, but everybody like heard shots, but they were muffled to a point where I think the majority of people thought they were outside. But Remy had seen flashes of light, obviously from the muzzle flash, and ran towards the office. She poked her head in and saw the officers down on the ground. I think she said she backed out, and Bubba came out and shot at her, got her in the arm, but she managed to shoot him down.
Jesus. So
With their heavy pistol while being shot at by a goddamn assault rifle.
Yeah.
Based as fuck.
for clarity's sake, I'm sorry. It's only ever happened one other time that I remember.
Yeah.
Where was the where did it go awry from? He was expecting to get fired and then he shot down the high command?
I don't know. There's a lot of people doing, like, it feels like there's a lot of people doing a lot of stirring at the moment, and I think they've got themselves wrapped up in that, and I think he just got himself so worked up about the situation that I guess it snapped.
I'm going to be rather forward here, and I said this, I don't remember who I said this to. I mentioned it to 2 members of LSPD High Command. I just can't put my finger on who it was. Keep in mind, my department's been dealing with this sort of thing since around the December timeframe. The first would be the reasons, the motives would come down to, I want power, right? And it'd be a conglomerate of folks. It would start by making claims that were unfounded, claims that were just completely false. And as you said, stirring in that direction for some time and then acting like they're fucking victims.
Yeah.
We dealt with this with Pred. We dealt with this with Maxwell. We dealt with this to a lesser extent Carmine. Carmine is honestly the least of it, right? Like, he owns up to that shit.
Oh, he's loud and
but
proud
some of
about
these
it,
other pussies, quite frankly, victimize themselves so much that I think they bought into their own bullshit, right? Where
I agree.
in their mind, I think everyone's lives derived around their downfalls. And to the extent that their actions, the things that they did, the things that resulted in the actions that took place around them, was completely not even considered in their thing. I would. So as I had noted this, I want to say the conversation must have been a week ago. I'm just going to say it outright because I feel like it's the proper thing to do, and I'm saying it in front of these guys because I want them to keep an ear to the ground in case I am right.
Right.
Be wary of D. You know what he did with Miller, I'm sure. That was disgusting as far as I'm concerned, including but not limited to I'll just give you some more names. Watch out for Frodo. That guy should not be anywhere near PNT. He stirs, tries to be funny, but he's a toxic piece of shit. He will drive your shift 2 into hell. They've been dealing with him. My department dealt with him 3 months ago, to which I called him something. If you look up my report, actually the report that he put together, you'll see quite distinctly what I referenced him as. He's a incessant child. I think his parents haven't taught him basic manners. And he has had the audacity to spit on high command and utilize the positions that he has to not only hurt shift 2, but drive animosity between shift 1 and 2. And this has been going on for some time. Fully expect him to transfer. I'm not surprised with what's his name, fucking the one that shot up everyone, because he's just hanging on to, you know, the few little ropes that D and that other posse do. You're gonna, they've probably already done some damage.
So this is the thing, right? So on Friday, I walked out of MRPD, and I walked out a way that I don't normally walk out, but I managed to walk directly into D and Johnson, who told me, hey, we think Bubba should talk to you. There's some issues. So, because of who I was with and because I know the whole thing of trying to paint themselves out to be victims and stuff, I stood and I listened. And Bubba had issues with command of Shift 2. So I deliberately stayed late that day to speak with Key and get their side of things to see if I could understand what the hell was going on. And they told me the issues that they'd been having with Bubba, and then it all made kind of like sense in my head. And I was like, okay, fine. I had my day off on Saturday. All of this kicked off on Saturday, apparently. It was Saturday night when Bubba shot the command. I managed to speak to Ruby and Key yesterday. And funnily enough, the stirring has happened with some cadets. There's some cadets that are blaming themselves for what Bubba did, which is very odd because why would you blame yourself as cadets for something that a senior officer did to his command? Should you not feel sorry? Sorry?
So, no, they censored what you said in that report.
No, I censored it. I was going to write that word in a report.
Oh. Sorry.
No,
you're good.
Then
I think I initially put R star, and then I decided to make it all stars just in case. You know?
So yeah, so there was there's cadets blaming themselves, and Bubba had told me on the Friday that there were 3 cadets who were looking to quit, and he'd saved them from quitting. I've since found out from Ruby and Key. Yeah, I've since found out from Ruby and Key that they heard all of this on Saturday. They heard some cadets had some issues, major issues. So they spoke to those cadets. They separated them and they spoke to them, so they didn't really have time to get a story together. And it all came out that they've been being told things like, you're not allowed to be off duty and be seen anywhere near MRPD or by officers because you'll get fired for inactivity. You're not allowed to go to, I think it was 911s.
Fuck?
You get fired.
That is...
Go to 77s only.
What?
So it turns out they said that they've been being told this by people like Frodo and Bubba.
That is...
They hate command.
That is insane.
They've got big issues. Right.
That is...
So,
you should not be hired back into PD type shit. That is crazy.
Right. So I don't know whether these cadets. So the plan for Saturday from Shift 2 Command was they were going to talk to Bubba and fire him. They were going to talk to Frodo and fire him.
Have you subpoenaed Bubba yet?
I need to talk to. I think it was Matt Martin was running the incident for it. I've spoken with Gravy. Gravy's going to be looking into doing that.
Do you mind if we assist with this? Because
I would love some assistance with it if that is possible, please.
Because my concern is the following. You don't just go and take out a gun as being a law enforcement officer for a while and just out of the blue open fire on a bunch of your command members unless you have gone completely deranged, which obviously that's part of it, but you have to get there, right? You don't just snap. Right. It's a possible, but it's just not a likely scenario. My question is, who else is involved? Can this happen again? Who is generating this destabilization? And I think with that opens up the door for, quite frankly, a 30-day phone subpoena, as well as any phone calls that may have come prior to it by any individuals. And I think that whole thing needs to be done because there may be other actors, right?
So there's like this entire web that's been spun in Shift 2, and it's completely derailed Shift 2. And the weirdest thing is like it seems to be surrounding the whole ODPD thing. Even though ODPD have not been sort of like really that active with Shift 2, and I spoke to them today and they were just like they mentioned how basically Shift 2 is not going to be a thing, right? That their concern is Shift 1 and that's when they're going to be operating.
No. Look, Vivian, I've dealt with these dumb fucks for a minute. Let's be, I don't want to pollute your mind or anyone else in the circle with my matter-of-fact statements, but from the onset, there's what is said and then there are the actions. As much as ODPD existing, if they're going to go to 911's fantastic, right? But every action thus far, even before they're voting in, indicates that is not their prerogative. I think that's just to get a foothold in. if they're stating that there is going to be no shift 2, you can't really take that at face value.
No,
That's just to minimize any blowback or anyone noticing the hand that they're moving in the background, right? It's there's a reason why Doc Masters is over there. There's a reason why Frodo's probably going to go over there. There's a reason why D's going over there, is because they are very shifty, and that's how they've always been. So it would not surprise me if Frodo already has a ticket in ODPD, and that he's been with a simple call. I mean, look, who's to say he's not going to be getting captain over there, right? And if you're operating Shift 2's PNT, who's to say that animosity that is clearly being driven into fucking cadets, right? That are going to assume everything that's being said is truth. Is their intention isn't to bring that entire fucking program over, right?
No, I agree. So one of the big things that kicked off Bubba's frustration with Shift 2 Command was that they questioned him over whether he was looking to transfer to ODPD. They were informed about this by Frodo. Frodo's claiming to Bubba that he never said any such thing. But Command were informed by Frodo that Bubba had said he would. I guess then Frodo's saying, no, I never said that.
No, that guy's a lying piece of trash. I'm going to be straight with you.
This man spiraled to the point where he's just pulled out a fucking class 2 and then shot Command over it. So yeah, I was in talks with, I spoke with Gravy like a little bit last night. He said he was going to catch up with Matt and see what's going on with like phone subpoenas and the wider investigation.
Yo, this is juicy as shit, chat. This is juicy.
It's it's caused a lot of derailment in Shift 2 at the moment. What I wanted to add was D and Johnson. I've been watching them for a while. I know that they've been, you know, talking to each other, like having their little meetings with people. That, you know, people are going to do that anyway. What I have noticed is the increased effort with cadets and pulling them aside to do morale checks and things like that. And then I found out last night that Ventura went up to the prison because Bubba was initially set up on a hold while they did a search warrant for his vehicles to try and get back all the equipment, firearms, etc. They had to put Ruby's property on lockdown, which permission was given by Jimmy, who also lives there, because Bubba actually lived with Ruby, and they couldn't change the security system without Ruby being in ICU. So for safety reasons, it was placed under lockdown with the permission of, I think, Jimmy. He was sorting out his hold stuff, and Ventura saw that D and Johnson and Jack Voss were up there visiting.
Oh yeah, Johnson should be on that list.
Right.
I fuck with Johnson heavy, but he's played these kind of cards in the past, so I would not put him past him that there's promises.
So he then, I found out then later on, D shows up at PD like hours later after Ruby's got out of ICU and hands Ruby the key that Bubba had to her house. And she said, how did you get this? And he said, oh, I've just been with Bubba. So apparently they've just been, since Bubba's been out of prison,
who gave the key?
Hanging out. D.
What the fuck?
Yes, they've just been hanging out with him.
Yo,
like, I knew they were friends before,
fuck?
but like the fact that your friend then turns around and tries to kill 3 of the commanding officers of your department, and then they're still hanging out. Like the moment I hear anybody saying anything like, you know, Bubba was right in what he was doing, or that it was justified, or whatever.
No. Wait, has someone actually said that?
No. I'm saying I'm waiting for it because.
Oh, you're not gonna hear that directly though.
Not right, but these people have been angling for like, oh, the LSPD is so bad. There's so many issues with it. Like I'm just waiting for it. I know that Johnson turned up today to the meeting, not in uniform, clocked off, wanting to talk to someone. I had already tasked Opal with talking to D and Johnson just to, you know, catch up with them, see how they're doing about things, because the biggest claim is that, you know, they're being victimized, right? So I'm trying to do like a keeping up appearances thing with them, but I'm keeping an eye on them.
Yeah.
As much as I can.
I I think as we're patrolling here, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep an eye out on who's chilling. You know what I mean? There's a lot of interesting things that we kind of noticed, and we've been monitoring some things. I don't think anyone was going to expect it to be this bad, but we have been monitoring, I'd say, for the past like 2-3 weeks, especially leading up to the campaign time. We have noticed secret meetings taking place up in Mirror Park for some time, which is how we know that some of the ex-LSPD officers were lying through their teeth, including the mayor stating, I just heard about this just 2 days ago. No, you weren't, motherfuckers. Like, we have your fucking photos. We have your vehicles. We know what house y'all were meeting at. Like, we're just sitting on that. Why? Because just in case. And so we'll continue to monitor just in case. If this starts to cross into the line where it is destabilizing law enforcement's ability to conduct their job and keep the county safe, we will do what's necessary. So.
Yeah, understood. If I get a catch up with Gravy, could I mention that you'd said you would like to help out with that?
I think it's better that nobody knows outside of your high command.
Okay, that's fine.
Sometimes like innocent, mentions in the wrong hallway, and then it gets out, right?
Yeah, no, of course. Okay, that's fine.
And but I will say that if anything sort of critical comes up, we'll like let's just agree in the circle. I will pull Rhodes and Vivian aside separately. That way we're limiting how much opportunity for this to kind of get out. So
yeah, I'd appreciate that. Thank you. So yeah, that's what I have for you to fill you in. Frodo, I've spoken with Shift 2 Command, so obviously they didn't get to deal with Frodo on Saturday because they were in ICU after and nobody knew what they were going to be doing. Frodo, as soon as he is on duty, we're going to be placing him on administrative leave instead of instead of like the suspension thing, so that we don't alert him to the fact that we're aware of what's happening. Because the other day, his patrol partner, Hydro, I think is a cadet, was put into ICU because he was attacked by someone or pushed down some stairs or something. And apparently, I didn't know this until last night when I managed to catch up with him. Apparently, he handed his gun into a senior officer and said, take this. I don't know what I'm going to do.
What?
Then, yeah.
Wait, the cadet did?
No, the Frodo did. About the cadet. Yeah, because the cadet had gone into ICU, which is apparently his best friend. And he didn't know whether he was going to be able to control himself, so gave his gun to a senior officer and said, hold on to this for me.
I'm going to say something. I'm going to say that my biggest concern with some of the decisions that were made across the board to look the other way over actions that only transpired 30 days ago, I'm being so damn vague, but we're now seeing the repercussions of it.
Right.
Motherfuckers committed felonies, and next thing you know, they're damn high command in another department. Unfortunately, with it being sort of framed as, well, here's an opportunity for fun, the inherent consequence of it is it has told every member of law enforcement that you can pull a gun out, put it in someone's mouth, blow their head off, and there will be an opportunity for you in 30 days. So,
no, he's
that and that's if you get caught.
He's going to be fired. I just Shift 2 specifically want to question him about the whole cadet stuff. Whether they're going to get any answers out of him they're probably not.
Yo.
But they're going to be the ones firing him.
Oh, see, I don't give a fuck.
Because of
this is going to be juicy as fuck.
But
Brian,
so I was
he's on some shit.
Essentially suspending him, but
Brian's thinking, I'm going to unleash McNulty. We're going to start doing CIA shit. We're going to start putting hits out on motherfuckers and planting guns on them. Because why not? Fuck it. I'm doing it too.
We're just trying to keep it contained instead of everybody panicking, freaking out, and then causing absolute fucking chaos, which worse than it already is, you know? So yeah, if I see Frodo around, I've also given Bean the heads up as well, so he
Man!
can do it. And Davenport,
Damn,
should he
we
see him
we
before
out
shift
here
duty,
like McNulty
to send
might
him on
be
that leave.
corrupt, and like yo, and like yeah,
Man,
yo,
just
stood-
disarming him before that
McNulty's
conversation.
looking like a damn angel right now.
Yeah, of course, yeah. He was stood all weekend outside the ICU, crying hysterically, standing guard over the shift 2 command who had been shot.
Bull fucking
Wait,
shit.
who
Some
Frodo was?
fucking crocodile
was.
tears,
Who
bro.
was?
Oh, Jesus.
Ain't no
Frodo.
way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was holed up in CMC after the incident the next storm as well. He changed
Yep.
his display card to show that he's there and standing guard or something.
Yep.
Do y'all know how well do y'all know Lord of the Rings?
Fucking greatly.
A little bit.
Frodo doesn't know Lord of the Rings.
Do you know wasn't Schmeagol like a hobbit at one point, and then
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
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 my shift. Come, cadets. We must make sure they buy into my bullshit, and then we must bring you all.
Yeah, so yeah, this is where he told me that the cadets were beside themselves because they were blaming themselves for potentially getting Bubba into a lot of trouble, which is then I was like, what have cadets got to do with it? And then I found out when the officers came out of ICU what was going on.
Yo. yeah, she does.
So yeah.
I do have a question, if you don't mind.
Mhm.
Why was Bubba not charged with corruption?
I
Can you even do what would the isn't
There's
corruption
a loose way
benefit?
you could argue it, but I would say
So-
that's probably really not the intention of the corruption
Yeah.
charge.
I feel like looking into something like that instead of just doing it straight up after he's shot the officers. They're still in the middle of investigating how deep this goes.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that would probably come further down the line with that, especially if like
Yeah, that's fair.
subpoenas prove things and stuff. But looking at it and looking at the wording of it, right now it'd be tough to, I think, articulate.
We need
Would
a
need
dereliction
more
of duty
information.
charge.
The main thing is knowing how the attitude and then the kind of the feel of the room.
Yeah.
Nobody's head was in that direction.
Okay.
Kind of
Got
looking
it
back
in.
at it now. I mean, Remy was shaken up by it, and I think she was the one that took down.
So
And
the
The charge is all done
biggest
by
thing-
Ventura.
Yeah, the biggest thing is nobody knew what the meeting was like, other than, you know, potentially looking at the employment of Bubba. People were not aware of like all of this came to light, and they started like questioning the cadets. They got the information from the cadets, and they were like, "That's it. That's the final straw for Bubba." They pulled him in. They were going to question him, and then obviously they got shot. So they were in the middle of investigating this when they got shot.
Was Bubba
so.
PNT?
Bubba was yeah, he was an FTO.
What
I don't know whether he was
the
an FTO,
fuck?
but he was an FTO. Yes, yeah. So then
A
I
lot of
found out from
problems
another
with
officer. I found out from another officer that who'd recently ridden with Bubba. He'd been complaining about command handling the hound situation. It all comes back to like basically that. And he'd stated how he what was it? So he'd basically alluded to Key that he would be transferring departments, not saying necessarily whether it was BCSO or ODPD. Then
Let's see.
he
Who is
texted
this? Sorry.
Key, Bubba.
Hmm.
Then he texted Key saying that he would like to
Yo,
transfer to shift 1. I believe it was. He would like to transfer for a fresh start, is how he put it. And then he later that day, this was all on Saturday, later that day, he apologized to Key and said he wanted to remain shift 2. While he was riding with another officer, and this officer has come forward with this information, Mona, and I don't think she asked for any of it, he just kind of dumped emotional trauma on her. He told her that he was going to stay shift 2 to spy command. So yeah, it's all just, all of this seems to be just to try and derail shift 2.
And it's this has been ongoing for a while. I mean, like I said, after my run-in, and some of the folks in this department's run-in with Frodo and co over things like getting on our radio station, fucking around, the targeting marshals for God knows what, because he was trying to ride on coattails. After I quite literally just kind of put him down and said, you cross that line again, it's not going to be good for you. He moved on to allegations towards members of Shift 2, including but not limited to Ruby. And I had seen some of that with my own eyes the last, like, I didn't know as much happening, I would say the last, like, 2-3 weeks, but then again, I haven't really been paying attention, but this has been ongoing for a while. This isn't, like, new. It stems back even to the, if I recall properly, the problems that Shift 2 had with PNT in general, where they weren't being able to make decisions about who and what they needed in their shift when it came to, like, new officers. And
This is when Peach ran it.
yeah, but I think Peach got I don't think it was ever a Peach thing in my opinion.
No, I think Peach got blamed for things that weren't so much Peach.
Correct. That's exactly it. So, and it would not surprise me if some of that did come from Frodo. Like, in other words, like, oh, well, I'm just following Peach's orders, and with Peach not being around to sort of defend or clarify, it created a bit of a divide. I Peach
agree.
is a shit stirrer, but Peach is not. Peach doesn't really have like a malicious part of her.
No.
Like, yeah.
I know that. I know Shift 2 Command like butted heads and blamed Peach a lot for the PNT stuff, and then obviously Peach stepped away from the PNT stuff, and I think they were trying to iron things out with PNT with Frodo leading it, and I guess that's where Frodo decided to continue stirring things up and trying to take the control of it.
Yeah. Holy fucking shit.
Yeah, so there's at least one cadet class with 3 cadets in it that they're aware of this happening with. The one after that, those people have gone through their cadet class quite quickly. I think the cadets that are affected as well, they've also complained to Frodo and Bubba about how they feel like, you know, they've been lapped by the class after them sort of thing, and they've been left by the wayside. And it seems as though Frodo and Bubba have deliberately not done anything about it to help
create the animosity.
What they've been telling them. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, this is crazy. This sounds like what was happening with us and Miller for fucking months, right? We constantly I fuck with Miller heavy now, but we dealt with, like, I'd say 5 months where there'd be an attempt to work with him, and then we'd look the other way, and there'd just be spinning of webs and just like whispering in the ear, and it was bad, right? To quote a famous shitlord, I enjoy some people enjoy it, you know what I mean? So, oh my God. Silver lining. Cat's out of the bag now, right?
No.
If this I was just gonna say, if this kept on festering, it could have been worse than it is. Sorry, Bill, I cut you off there.
You want some other tea? Question mark. Apparently, there's some suggestion that the warden of DOC has been like beating prisoners, like taking them into rooms and beating them bloody, and then taking them to the infirmary.
What?
Like
Yeah.
Dogtown shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, some
God.
BCSO guys are kind of handling it, and I said that if you guys are okay with it, you guys are okay with it.
I don't believe that.
No. I wouldn't say it's okay. It's
no,
what's her name?
not okay with it. I mean, more so like if they're happy to kind of track it, then we can kind of track and monitor it without having to like step in and wrest it out of their hands, right?
I believe it was Lockhart Lockhart contacted me about it. And
Yes.
and that was kind of and then Nova's looking at it too, and they're doing exactly what I'd like to see. Is like realistically, our department cannot take on every corruption case.
Okay.
And
Yes.
so we ask that whoever is, whoever comes across it, they do as far as they can, and then we're there to help them cross the finish line, or
Yeah.
or like analyze whether there is enough or whether it's,
My phrasing
Yeah.
there was absolutely dog shit. I didn't mean like, are they okay with it? As in, they're okay with what he's doing.
whatever, they're beating the
I meant no.
chill.
I meant
I mean-
if BCSO are happy with a BCSO, the BCSO people involved, happy with it that they don't need any outside assistance. Okay, thank you for appraising me,
Yeah.
kind of like keeping a finger on the pulse and monitoring it. But if you guys are happy, there's no reason for us to like storm in and be like, this is state grounds, whack, prison's our territory, whack, get the fuck
Yeah.
out. And there's no point doing that. So if
Yeah.
the people involved on the DOC side and the people involved in the BCSO side are happy to just keep us appraised, but they want to keep it
Yeah.
rolling by themselves, this is fine.
Yep, I agree. I think
IMO.
we should have someone monitoring to make sure it's moving forward as well. I mean, and I would not be opposed to, say, us sending in someone, right, as a prisoner or there's the other angle too. This could all be bullshit as well. I think that's the difficult thing.
I'm just gonna put it out there. You're talking about individuals that have to take care of individuals that literally, like right here. Here's a report about a lifer bashing her head against the wall multiple times. So
Yeah, they do that, and then they'll
Yeah.
blame you for it. It's
so
yeah.
Yep. Holy fuck. So who are we? Do we? Whenever you have a chat with Frodo, I'd like, if you don't mind, one of us being present there, Vivian. Both in terms of a extra gun, but also, I mean, I genuinely, right?
No, I mean,
Like, and
funny that you have to mention it,
like,
but yeah.
as a third party witness that can prosecute if necessary. And I'm sort of thinking ahead here, right? Vivian is in the event there is, I don't know, like to use this example, Frodo starts beating his head against the wall and claiming.
Right. You've gotta, yeah.
I've had that happen before.
Oh.
been there.
Yeah.
Done
Oh my
that.
god.
Done that.
He's like,
Yeah,
stop.
I remember my last interrogation.
Oh, it did with Bobby, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that happened.
Yep.
We had a marshal, Vivian, that we had to let go, who was starting a damn militia, and when it got to the interrogation bit, 6 weeks later, he started assaulting himself in the interrogation.
What?
Did you actually hear the tape where I got up and I was like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
now walking away. I'm not touching him. I do not want my DNA anywhere near his leaking head.
Oh, my
EMS,
God.
Please come in here.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That was a fun one.
Oh, the first
Oh my
month
God.
of my directorship was internal corruption and militias being started and allegations of attempting to weapons traffic. It was fucking, the shit was spicy. Have y'all run armory logs, evidence logs yet?
Yes. I mean, Rhodes has been doing that. I haven't seen.
Okay.
I know he was around on Saturday, especially when it all happened. I have not seen
Yo,
this
chat!
yesterday
What the
because
fuck
of
happened this
weekend,
weekend,
so I
man?
don't expect to see everybody yet.
That's right here.
Wait, that's it.
Where do you see it?
That was that car that just went past us.
What was the car, Vale?